Hello, hello. How are you doing? Gotta test everything right quick. Make sure everything is up and running. Happy, happy to see you. Happy to see you. Hey. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Checking some stuff right quick. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure where where would be the best place to watch from. Sorry. Trying out the whole multi-streaming thing. Um, I think it's tough to say because I don't really know which one will be the most advantageous when it comes to my purposes of streaming in the first place. So both can't play at the same time. That's all right. Whichever one you choose, it doesn't matter. Whichever one you like more. Uh, but yeah, um, probably end up keeping Maverick Workshop as that the Maverick Workshop, and then the things that I make from it will go to like Maverick Pens. If you do follow anything on Instagram or anything like that. Um, but yeah, because it is very different when it comes to uh, like what it is. Um, So some people just like the element of having the pens, and then other people like the making of them. So I understand those are very different people, and that's also why my wife has actually taken over the Instagram because I have not been very good on social media. So basically, I'm going to be doing the live and then the community tab and the Discord, um, and then another project. Some like both, yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I watch, yeah. I mean, I do watch both. I watch some video games and stuff like that on on Twitch, but I don't particularly like watching video games on YouTube. It's a little weird. Um, I don't know. It definitely does give a different vibe, but yeah, I think my rant's over for now when it comes to that. I think you had told me your name, or would you like for me to call you Happy Nerd, or whichever you prefer? All right. Oh, shoot. I think I got that saved. Let's see. Spect. Oh, jeez. No, I don't want to do that. All righty. Well, I will say I do pull up YouTube on the browser that I've got that I am constantly monitoring, but then I can look back over to my computer here, whoop, and be able to see what's being said in the other one. One of the big things about multi-streaming is you can't change the quality of the output. You still can't do any copyright, whatever, which makes sense on any platform. And then there's you can't push one or the other necessarily, and then the comments. Apparently, the comments can't be on the live chat for everybody to be able to see. So I'm sure there are workarounds of said thing. However, for the sake of publicly recording and everything, those are the things that, or those are the rules that I am familiar with. If there are other ones, I shall have to investigate. But the pins on the thumbnail are the ones that I've been working on, and I've actually completed quite a few of them. I think it was about 4 or 5 of them, and then I've been working on getting the rest of them done. I've only got 2 Guardians in this batch, and there are quite a few translucents, so it'll be pretty interesting to see what they look like when they're all done. So obviously the cap is a little on the large side, and so we'll be swapping it over. Or not swapping it over, but reducing its size here in the near future. So that is the plan for today, and I have a party that I'm going to, a gender reveal party. My sister is having a baby, so there'll be a gender reveal party that we'll be going to a little later. I think I'll probably have to hop off in about 2 hours or so. So that'll be pretty exciting. But yeah, I think I can actually get most everything done that I need to when it comes to the caps and the sections, but we'll see. Sometimes it just seems like it takes longer, but that's all right. I'm not in a hurry. All right. I do have a little bit of a different camera setup over here, putting the viewer closer to the work. Um, so I think that'll be pretty interesting. We'll have to see. And then as far as YouTube videos, I've been thinking about a schedule for YouTube videos, and I think I'm gonna have to start at the beginning, where close to where I started, and the plan is to kind of break down, talk about what it was that I got started with. Um, so yeah, I think that'll be the direction for the videos, kind of breaking down the different pieces that I accumulated and why I got those specific things and stuff like that until I build back up to yeah, making bespoke pins and whatnot. Because I've been figuring a lot of stuff out and trying to get somebody caught up. I've kind of realized that I'm pretty far beyond that point of somebody starting out, and so I'm kind of thinking of pulling back on the reins and then being able to yeah, yeah, and that's kind of the hope, to address that kind of thing. So um I know that the taps and dies are very confusing. The way that I did it was really trial and error, because I didn't know Jack or Jill of anything about taps and dies, or that they even existed until a little later. So there is that. Let's see. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit on this camera. Image adjustment, focus. No, I want to zoom out. Field of view. Come on. Because I thought I liked it there, but oh, that's why. That's why I can't change it. Okay. Plan B. Let's hop back over here. We'll pivot this over here so you can see what I'm doing. Boop. Of course, getting rid of this because that's not Maverick pins, is it? What we're gonna do is we're just gonna elevate this just a tad. Come on. Am I loose? What am I doing? Ew. All right, there we go. Okay, I didn't even little baby turns. Okay, gotta hit the gym. Get stronger here. All righty, let me take a look at that right quick and see. Oh, that's better. That's nice. Boom. Hey, Sean, how you doing? What am I doing? Fixing myself here. I did kind of a rearranging on the camera setup where I've got the shoot. I can see it in studio mode, but let me switch back. Get out of studio mode. There we go. All right, what I'm doing right now is working on this. So I got my tripod, I got my camera here, and then I'm trying to make it as close as I can to the work. Yeah. Put in over 60 hours working this week. Heck yeah. Good deal. How else are you supposed to buy pens, blanks, tools? How else are you supposed to get those things? But anyway, what I was doing is getting this camera set up to where it can be seen nicely from y'all's point of view, and then also be able to um, you know, work on the stuff, have it out of the way. Because I used to have it where it was back and then the arm would actually come this way. And so I moved that to where it's the opposite. And this camera has a show mode, is what it's called, when it flips over, it flips upside down. So it looks pretty darn nice like that. Um, let's see. Oh man, Sean, that's a bummer. I imagine you're gonna be busy for a while with that. Let's see. All right. Let's see. What do y'all think? Y'all like having multiple cameras like that? You'll be looking at my posterior quite a bit, so we'll just go with the other. Is that why your way maybe be set? So there's a wall. I can't really go any further back. I'd have to move the lathe out, and then that would mess with my dust collection and everything. So I don't want to do that. But no, it's not in the way this way. Anywho, all right. Let's see. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Um, so we got all the barrels done, and we got the things that we've got to do today is trim down the caps. But that's about it. The caps and the sections. Once I bang those out, then we're good to go. Um, my wife has lovingly hopped into sand, so that definitely lowers the resistance that I had of completing them. Where's my toothbrush? Oh. Also, I got some cool material that I kind of want to start. Dang it. Anyway. Oh, you didn't see what that was, Kev? Yeah, good. Good. it's not for this channel anyway. All right. Bum, bum, bum. But yeah, I've been doing a little some research and development, and then um, so the what I'm talking about is come on. Well, you'll get to see part of it. How about that? So here's some research and development component here that I was working on. Um, Got to keep working on the accents and whatnot, but um, let's see. Yeah. Anyway, working on some of that, and um, it's a pretty advanced pin making skill, but I do think that it would be pretty cool to share with those that are interested. Let's see. This material is Alumilite, and this one is called Purple Potion. Yep. Those blanks look great. Blanks look great. Should you make DP pins out of them? Do what you want, man. You want to make some of that out of them? Go for it. I shall limit my comments on that topic. Haven't quite figured out how I want to integrate those things. Alrighty. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Um, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Myra, good morning. It's afternoon for me. 12:30. You went to the largest DP store in the world last week. Interesting. What'd that look like? You take pictures? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is. Oh, shoot. Glad I looked back. This is a Guardian. The other ones that I'm going to be making are all Marauders. I only have 2 Guardians that I'll be making. I'm going to be 9:30 there. Good grief. I've got so much time for activities. Getting an early start. That's awesome. Alrighty. So I'll point out right quick. So checking this out right here. Uh, what you could do is you take it to the metal lathe and you trim it down, right? And then that's a way. You could also use a square carbide. And then the other thing that you could do is what I'm about to do, and that's use your round carbide. If you have a steady enough hand, just make sure you don't dig too deep in it. It's self-critiquing. So basically, I just did the initial part where I'm marking how far it's going to be. And then obviously you have to factor in the part right here where the live center is going into the material. that's not usable, it's going to be a hole. Unless you don't really care that there's a hole. And there are reasons for that. Let's see. 9:30 there, nice. I do miss it out west sometimes, but got all of our family here for me. You're working on your anniversary present. That's awesome. I've got a Discord if you'd like to throw it up on there. The Discord is in the description. And it shouldn't expire anymore. I'm kind of figuring out Discord. It's taking a little bit of time. So the technique here that I'm using is, well, simple. You're using a carbide. You're basically squaring it. But my reference point is actually over here. And then I'm seeing where that is. And then you can smooth it all out. I think it'll be a two-part stream today as well. So I'll get going. Yeah, I'll be working with this, and then and I'll have a baby shower to go to, and then I'll come back. I'll probably stream a bit more. I want to hang out with some people. What am I doing? This is right. There we go. Oh, here we go. Let's see. That's your favorite parting tool? Yeah, the 1/8 is nice. She has a program that she can make any photo of diamond painting for under 15,000 dollars. Is that the program? That's kind of wild. Syndicate. I can get to that. Syndicate in Discord. To the store. Small part of the store. Pick up license plates from each country and gluing those together. Weird. That sounds kind of cool. I always like something that's interesting. All right. Is the baby here or on the way? It's on the way. It's still in the oven. 15 for the program. Nice. That's kind of crazy. But I mean, the potential ROI there is pretty good, I reckon. As long as you got the people. Baby, yeah. My sister is having a baby, not Abby. Alrighty. Yeah, yeah. Not a baby for us. It's come on. Oh, all right. The secret weapon, y'all. Remember it? Remember it? Secret weapon. So simple. People don't think to use it, and then start using it. Oh, yeah. You see that? Pro tip. These parts here, those are on the outside. The part that has not changed color is still the the lower parts. A little bit of the lands and grooves here, and we want to smooth everything out before fine sanding it. So, alrighty. Thank you. We don't know if it's going to be a boy or girl, so that's the whole exciting thing about it. Is it going to be a boy or a girl? My family is loaded up with girls. Good grief. I grew up, had 5 sisters. I had 2 daughters of my own. My oldest sister, let's see, she had 4 daughters. It's a lot of ladies. You ever go crazy and beat the caps? No, there's not enough room. But you should try it if you think it would work. I'm not going to. What am I making? These are bespoke pin caps. So there we go. This is the pin, and this is the cap that I just finished. Um, so it needs to be worked on a bit more. Come on, there we go. So that's what I'm working on right now, Myra. Turning down caps, and then once I'm done with that, I'll be turning down sections. Let's see. Your dad had 23 siblings? Man. I I mean, think about what that means for the your dad. Well, I guess your grandparents, right? Think about what that meant for her. How long she was pregnant. That's insane. Whew. All right. So this is a pastel prism. Um, yeah. Make a fat cap? No, I will not. I mean, I am working on some, let's see, I've got the M15s that I could potentially do that with, but you're going to still run into the same problem because you don't have a lot of room. Um, like the thing, you'd have to make this. There's a lot of things you can do, but no, you can do it. Heck yeah, somebody might buy it. Maybe not. Depends on how well it looks, I guess. But I will say people also like things that are unique. So that could definitely fall under that category. But it won't be made by me. Let's see. All right, so this is going to be a Marauder. Pretty much the rest of them, except for one, is going to be Marauder, which just means it's going to have a tapered end, tapered third, and then the flat end. He was in the middle of the pack. Wow, that's crazy. It's pregnant for 17 and a half years. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You never looked at it like that? Yeah, it is one of those things that not really something that you would really. So the other reason why I do that sometimes is also so uh, I don't mess with that part anymore. I get it to about the diameter that I'm going for, and then I'll turn the rest of it. And these have been quite popular. People have been really excited about these, and it's pretty awesome. They look cool too, definitely for good reason. This is a pretty cool one. And just a tad bit more. You don't always need to use a file either. Wouldn't be shocked if she had a, yeah. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. So we need to do a whole lot of work on this. We're just going to use fine tuning setting. She was like a 4 foot woman. Man, that's crazy. That's a petite lady. So I think I mentioned it before, but Abby is going to be going to the San Francisco pin show that's coming up in like a week. She'll be all by herself, repping us. Pretty cool. So I know that I'm using the file here. Ideally, you would still like it to be supported, but it's not the end of the world as long as you had done everything else right. So you can still see it's turning true, no problems. Sometimes it'll work, and if you not work, but it will be slightly offset when you move the live center, the tailstock. But you know that just means that there's a part of your process that's not right or needs some revision. But yeah, once you get it going, oh yeah. I bet if Abby gets this one done, it'll be gone today. Kevin, you're trying to get some days off so you can go down there? How far away is that for you? All right, so if you can see this, it's kind of off. Here, this will be easier to see. You can see it's a little bit off, right? Now, this could be two reasons. One, somewhere along my process, I didn't do how I was supposed to, which is why shortcuts can be bad, and typically you avoid them. But sometimes you also forget, or there are triple starts, and that's not the case. That's all right. So the remedy with this one in particular, 5 hours away. Well, that's not bad. That's not too bad. I think I'm gonna take my daughter to Busch Gardens. I'm trying to do one more motorcycle trip um, before her school starts. Totally unrelated to California, but trying to, and that's about 5 hours away. Anyway. All right. So sometimes it just happens. We'll see what happens once we get this closer to completion here. This is going to be another Marauder. You see when it's supported, it's actually turning quite through. So it is a weird thing. Suction power here. Come on now. The gardens always kind of fun. Yeah. Busch Gardens, I mean, seeing quite a few mixed reviews, and it being like really expensive for food and stuff like that. I'm not sure what to expect. But we did order some. I got Bluetooth in my daughter's helmet now. We'll probably break the ride up into a couple be 2 hours and then work and then keep backing it off as necessary to get that saddle butt. Speaking of which, we ordered some briefs that um, offer a little bit more padding, kind of like cycles. Let's see. So some of these pins, if you wanted to see them already done, there is a way to do that if you looked on Maverick Pins. But if you, yeah. I've actually been sitting on these blanks for a while. Probably almost a year. But yeah, I think the Busch Gardens in Florida is the better of them. We're going to the one in Virginia. I think it's like 500. Okay. Here's this one. So all of these are going to be a proud cap. Let's see. I've got one more purple potion before switching to the next. Yeah, what's everybody working on? Myra, you're working on something, the license plate for anniversary. And Sean, you're still traveling the world, the U.S. Come on, move it. Your wood shop work call right on, Sean. No worries. See you in a little bit. Your wood shop will be back open Monday. Haven't done anything since it's been closed. Good grief. Sounds like you need to create your own wood shop. You've been closed for almost a month. Outrage. Don't they know that you got stuff that you want to do? This one. Yeah, we definitely do. How can you wake up in the middle of the night and go try out something that you're thinking about if you don't have a workshop to do that? No, you know what? We're driving. We're talking about the same thing. I may have mentioned it before, but when I was, we have been looking around, keeping our eyes open for different properties and whatnot. Got to have a workshop because that's what we do for a living. Uh, One of them that we were looking at has, I think it's like a 2,500 square foot workshop, climate controlled, 220 power, had all the stuff we wanted. And that would be sufficient to have, people come and burn with me. It's kind of weird to think about that in some ways because it's like, well, you're buying a house, but you're also buying a place for business. So is that a partial business expense? Because you could probably get a loan for a storefront kind of thing, right? Now, what if it wasn't exactly a storefront, but a workshop where you were going to run some work out of? I'll write that down. Investigate. I know tax wise, it would be like a tax deduction. But I'm also wondering, commercial lender, yeah, probably a good place to start. Because it would be a house, but it would also have like property that would be used as business. Like when we do taxes now, first and foremost, not legal advice, just talking, but we do claim a portion of our house because what we do, but set up appropriately with a professional that does taxes. Um, yeah. Depreciation, yeah. Mm, she looking spicy. But yeah, you know, I guess being able to, buy that. So if everything combined is, I don't know, for the sake of discussion here, we'll say it's half a mil. So 500,000. So the house, would probably be, you know, 350 or something like that, 3 to 350, and then the workshop would be like 150 to 200 or something. Then would you be able to get separate loans for that kind of thing. One being a business and one being home. And it's not really even something that I thought about. It's, hmm. Let me look at that. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. One loan because of one time. Okay. Wonder if they work some like voodoo magic that money people do and divide the property like, in a different way to where one would be occupying one title that we just separated on paper. That way my company owns part of that and then I own the other part of it. Hmm. I don't know. Interesting thoughts here. Like, how do people live in? Um, I watched a show called Kim's Convenience, and they live on the second floor of a convenience store. So how does that work? Costly to break up property? Yeah, but maybe it's less than that, and then also getting two different loans. That way, one is a business loan, and the other one is personal home. Home. Hmm. These are questions I ask peripheral lender. Yeah, yeah. It's. I guess it boils down to at what point, what do I need to do in order to make that happen? I don't take no very well. Mm-mm. I have to own it. Hmm, that makes sense. Well, I can't outright own it right now. Bill, throw it house. Inward cut. Hmm. What if I did it the complete opposite? So we talked about majority being personal and then business. What if it was business and then personal? Hmm. Wants to yourself, you pay the business. Yeah. Yeah. Now I just got to figure out how. Yeah. It's gonna be easy with the tailstock here. Put too much pressure in there. And this is another. I don't really know why I didn't think of that. I was looking at the real estate game for a little while. I actually even took a real estate course to become a real estate agent, um, but did not pursue that because I didn't like that. You and every other person. Becoming a real estate agent? Shoot, I didn't even want to be a real estate agent. I just wanted access to um, the listing source. I was looking at wholesaling, but I did not like the vibes that you had to give off to do that. So, wasn't for me. Yeah. I withdrew my interest in that. And everyone else wanting to find flip properties. I never wanted to be a flipper. That was never my thing. But yes, there were a lot of people. There still are. I mean, it's a pretty interesting thing, and does does seem, you know, worthwhile, I guess, if that's what you want to put yourself into, which is not what I wanted to do. You did? You flip properties? How'd you like it? Man, flipping properties. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like the thought of it, really. Oh, you wanted to. Sorry. Well, yeah. Good luck. It's not something that I want to do. Um, it works. Shoot, there are people that do it, and they do well. I sometimes get shiny object syndrome, though. Some things just look good, and then I start doing them. And it's not something you'll ever do. You're not talented enough. What? Flipping properties? I don't know how talented you are, but I've seen some very underwhelming flips, even by big companies. We rented, these properties were definitely fixer-uppers, and they did it, and they rent out the property to recoup what they put into it, and there are shortcuts everywhere. So I don't know if it's lack of talent or lack of skill. Either way, there are some very underwhelming things that I've seen when it comes to rehabs and flips and stuff. Let's see. Hillbilly, how you doing, man? Saturday is going well. I'm gonna be going to a baby shower for my sister a little later, and then hopefully starting up another round uh, of pins. But right now, working on caps for a batch that I had started a little while ago, and then I'll be working on the sections. So nice toasty day here in North Carolina. We have to have connections. Yeah, but in order to make, like, I was going kind of hard in the real estate initially. I was going to like meetup groups, and um, networking was actually pretty simple. Um, a lot of people are like eager to work with you and test out new players in the game, you know. And yeah, I don't like doing things like that either. I want to put in the effort and make it right, but that's where you actually lose money if you play the game how it's supposed to be played. At least that's my observation. So Hillbilly, I saw that pin that you were making, and it seemed like the mechanism didn't want to work out for you. You're gonna see if your wife wants to go with you to your new land. Dang, you got new property too? And then some burls. Sweet. Yeah, the motorcycle pin. That did you live stream that? Like last night? But yeah, the motorcycle pin. Looked like it didn't want to cooperate there at the end for you. But sometimes you can just remedy, and then you're like, well, dang it, I just turned the camera off. I already fixed it. Well, could have been one of those things too. 97 there. There's a excuse me. Sorry about that. There is some quite a few people out west that oh man. Well cool. New land. Pretty good. Thank you, Myra. Well, I hope you're able to find some stuff worth keeping, worth harvesting. Almost there with the caps. And then the sections will be up next. And the rest of these are going to be. My dust collection not doing anything? Great. Oh, that's why. Let's see. Oh, cool. The land had a community on it. And, around the turn of the last century. Invited everyone to a long weekend camping and detecting. What was the turnout like? There are lots of people that came with their metal detectors and buckets and shovels and all that. Never been detected on. Interesting. Oh, I read that wrong. You have invited. Gotcha. The upcoming thing. Awesome. You know what? Just gonna hit it with a nice light inside here. About 100 and whew, it's gonna take you a long time to get through all of that. You got deals worked out with the people that are coming to prospect and detect on your the lands. You get like, I don't know, 10% of whatever they find or whatever. Or is there like an admission fee or just come hang out? Building a house on 15 acres. Oh, cool. Sounds like you're pretty well connected to the land, or in the progress of, or both. Yeah, almost there. This is the last cap, and it too is a marker. Oh, buying it from a friend at church. Interesting. That's close. Well, that's cool. When do you how much buttering up do you have to do for your wife to be wanting to go with you to the new property and do some prospecting? It would depend on the day for me trying to convince my wife. She'd be down sometime, and then other times she'd be like, "Ah." How you doing, Mrs. Jessica Hillbilly? So if that's the case, y'all like I don't know, leveraging whatever it is that y'all are going for that day. Some give and take relationship and yeah, I'll go with you, but you're gonna go take me out for eat or something like that. Ooh. It used to work well. Does she turn with you, or does she participate in any hobbies with you? Oh, yeah, my other lathe. I don't use it for any metal though. But the precision element of it is pretty nice. And then I really bought it because of the carriage, and that was kind of my biggest thing that I use it for is trimming down blanks that that I'm trying to fit into my collet chuck. But since then, um, I've altered my process, so I haven't needed it as much as well as much, I guess. But I do all my drilling on that, um, and that's because it's a three jaw chuck. I like the three jaw better than the four jaw chuck, so I could have bought it for just the wood lathe, but it's nice to have different lathes configured for different things. So, did I use it on metal? No. She makes wreaths and nice. She's very creative. Cool. Um, no, I don't usually. Let's see. The only time well, I didn't even stream it when I did use it for metal, but I do throw my mandrels on there. So you could have just saw that spot. Do I have an issue with the jet not lining up consistently? I no, but I don't let it not line up. Uh, what? Let's see. If you're holding things in between 2 points, it'll spin that way. Um, let me see. Let me see if I can show you. Let me clean it real quick. But it's pretty well lined up. But I never had an issue, and then when I did have an issue, it was because of the way that I was doing something. And then I also had the speed high. So it was really a lack of knowledge on my part. Um, let's see. It should go straight across. Let's see. All right, dead center, live center. Come on, banjo. Yeah, there. All right, so I mean the tips are pretty much dead on. But when you lock it, it could be slightly off as well. Let me zoom in. Um, I don't think I can actually zoom in. No, I don't think I can zoom. Oh, wait, yeah, I can. There we go. Oh, other way. Okay, so you can kind of see here. Uh, oh, sorry. There we go. So you can see it's, it can be offset or it could be dead on. Um, and there is, just a tiny bit of play in the lathe from the tailstock, but it's definitely not way off by any means. If you take it off and then put it back on, it doesn't line up. That's weird. Huh. No, I haven't really had much of a problem with that. But it does. I don't know if you're able to see it, but it does move a tiny bit. But that's just a matter of the grinding, I'm pretty sure, on the bottom. Um, yeah. But you could tighten it up. That might alleviate. Um, but yeah, fortunately I didn't really have any problem with the ways or anything. But yeah, it is a bummer when it is like that. It's definitely not fun having to deal with that, which is why I don't really. What I do is if you're spinning something in between centers, it's going to be level between those 2 points, like straight and level on those 2 points. It's just when you remove whatever's keeping it straight, it may cause that to go out of round. See what I mean about the set screw? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I chewed it up pretty good, but it works. It happened literally the day I got it. But turned, let's see, tens of thousands of pins by now. Not tens, uh, probably 12. I think about 12,000 now. But yeah, the first thing I did was chew those main threads up. I was so mad, but I was, yeah, well, you live and you learn, I reckon. Whoop. I mean to smack it in there like that. Golly. Okay. Um, although when I do turn kits, I use this a mandrel saver. I think you were using it as well. Um, let's see. I do find that on the live center side, it does do a little bit more wobbling. Um, so I think that's partially because of the way that the design is. But there's not really a way around that. Unless you use like, I don't know, a received collet. Finish pin I can show. Let me take a look over here. Yeah. Um, maybe this will work. Then here we go. I'm coming back. Fear not. All right. So here we are. Here is a one. So this is a hybrid one. I rarely make hybrids, but wanted to try it out. But yeah, this is a spalted wood. It's a CA finish. And then on the inside, it's got this section and then the nib here. So the part that I'm about to work on is this right here. Is going to be that. So that's what the last piece is that I'm working on. But yeah. Thank you. But yeah. This one's pretty cool. And you know, I guess for a reference point where it started, where this particular one started, was here. Believe it or not, it's the same wood. It's just once you get a CA finish on it, it makes it look like it got a little wet, and then it keeps it looking that way. But yeah, I make bespoke fountain pens. And you are very welcome. All right. So from here, what I'm going to do, I set my calipers to fit the cap. When you're turning down a section, you need to make sure it'll fit inside the cap. So your rough measurement is 12, and then I take it down a little bit. That's my reference when I'm turning it, because it's got to fit nicely. All right, I'm gonna get Morty back on. Let's see. If you don't know, my desk collection is named Morty. The crazy thing about fountain pens is there's lots of different designs, there's lots of different makers, there's lots of different blanks, there's lots of ways to do stuff. The sections are different, the bodies are different, the material's different, and then not only that, then there's a whole nother can of worms when it comes to nibs. So the nib that I was using was a medium Yovo nib, and those are what all my pins are fit for, a Yovo nib, which means that um, this section on the inside is basically the reverse of what the housing is right here on the outside. And so I threaded it and everything. And then you can stick a converter in the back, and that is what you suck up the ink in with, and then you can write with it. So it's the gist basically of the fountain pen, but there's so many areas to spend time and energy in. Some people really love the inks and matching the ink to whatever they're working on, or the journals or stuff like that. They also like to match the inks with the pens that they use. Another thing. Then let's see. There's tons of inks, believe it or not, as well. Tons. And the different effects that you can get in the inks is also really neat. And then you also have what's called nib grinders, which are people that like to they do different grinds on nibs to make them, ideal maybe for a left-handed writer. Or, it makes them flow better. Or sometimes when you use a fountain pen, it gets it's like dragging a needle across the paper because it's got sharp edges, and what the nib grinder will do will basically kind of file those down and enhance your writing experience. So, just it's one of those other avenues that you can go down. So, a lot of people like the wetter nibs. That's what it is. It just means that the ink flows faster out of the nib. Some people really like that kind of thing. Um, I am more of an extra fine kind of person. I like the nib being really fine so I can write smaller. But there's a lot of different grinds you can get and try out and determine what you like. So we have a pretty good inventory of different sizes, and that's kind of like the starting point of it all, depending on what size nib that you want. So it's like extra. I don't think we have any extra fine, but we have an extra fine all the way to a 1.5. Yeah, and that's a pretty wide surface contact with the paper. Oh, and that's the other thing too, is you can also go down the paper rabbit hole. I do have one of my fountain pens that I was writing with. Let's see. Let's see. I don't think you'll be able to see the shimmer on it. Let's see. But there is like specific paper that you can get, and it'll show like the shimmer of the inks. So it's shiny on the inside. But it's really cool. It's fun. It is fun. Kind of silly. sometimes. Like, why do I need 100 inks? And then you realize because you like to collect. And then you need to match the pens with your ink. It's one of those rabbit holes. But I'm working on my penmanship right now. Trying to spend some more time to make my handwriting a little nicer. Anyway, that was a long rant, huh? But right now, I'm chasing the threads, is what I call it. And I have multiple of these are called dies. I have multiple dies that I use to chase the threads so it makes them feel nicer once they're all done. So it felt a little bit tight when I was doing it, and I didn't like that. So the goal is to make it smooth, and it is very smooth now. And that one's ready to go off and be sanded and polished. But yeah, there's the whole users rabbit hole, the makers rabbit holes, the material rabbit holes, the ink, the peripherals, just all kinds of different rabbit holes that you can go down. It really is fun. Um, and even if you don't particularly like fountain pens, I'd say that it's still fun because the community, uh, everybody gets really excited about it. It's like it's like a Turner's community. It's fun to talk about what you really enjoy. You know, some sweet. So the right side's coming. Left side needs to come down just a little bit more. I don't worry as much about the middle because that's where I do my shaping portion, and that's where you can take some of your creative willpower. Just make sure that you don't go too deep and break it in half. Right on, Kevin. Welcome back, buddy. You missed some stuff. It was totally good. No, it's just uh, showing some a completed fountain pen and then talking about the different rabbit holes you can get lost on. And nah, it's just mixing it. Boom. Oh, oh. Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, the rabbit holes. Yeah. Well, I'll recap them right quick. So you got the inks, the nibs, the materials, the style, the makers, got the stationery. I think that's all of them. There's a lot of rabbit holes. Let's see. Gotta dress these threads right quick. No. Yeah. Yeah, those rolls. A lot of there we go. That was the problem. Nibs have been your nibs have been your latest, huh? Do you have a preferred uh, size? Oh, I've been messing around with tuning them. I haven't shared that quite yet, but been messing around with tuning them. They're just trying to change the shape and alter a little bit how they function. Those types of things. Sorry, I'm smoothing this out a little bit more because it's not great yet, but I think now it's going to be. Oh yeah. All right, this one's pretty awesome. It's not sanded or polished, but it does kind of look like it already has a like matte finish to it. Definitely doesn't feel like it though. Still got to get cleaned up. Not at all. Well, that's the joy of it. Exploring and enjoying and enjoying the whole process of it. Wait till you start messing with the inks, because you'll start messing around with the inks, and then you'll find that some nibs work better with different inks. Some of them end up flowing better out of larger nibs. You saw a double stack? Yeah. They call them double stack, triple stack. Some people go crazy. I just keep taking it. Why? And then some of them, they won't even fit the cap anymore because they're wider than the whole pen. But then you're entering like nib holder territory. My favorite nib is probably an extra fine, as long as it can still facilitate a um, an ink that is able to have the shimmer in it. But favorite nib is a tough one. Um, but nib size, yeah, I do like the shimmer look. And when you're doing that kind of thing, you also got to make sure that you got the right paper that'll help out with showing off the ink as well, which is something that is kind of crazy. The all different kinds of nibs too. There's like rhodium, steel, gold plated, gold, and then some of the main things about different materials is not only the look of it, but the feel of it. If you have something that's like a relatively thick steel, then it's going to be pretty hard and not have a lot of give when you're pressing it on the paper. So, um, and then you go like the complete opposite direction with the gold, and when you're using the gold, it makes it quite a bit softer, and so it's a little bit more springy. So you kind of get that feedback on the paper in the writing a bit. Some people like very hard, some people like soft, and the gold will allow for you to also kind of control from the end by how hard you press. It'll help you increase the amount of ink that comes out when you're writing. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, if you press down harder, more. But because it's a softer material, you don't have to press too hard to achieve the same thing. Do most of the nibs have the same thread size in the pen? No, not by a long shot. That's one of those proprietary things that um, different companies use and do in order to make it so you can't just interchange them. So, but I mean, that's kind of good at the same time because it makes it so you can do more customization and you can do whatever you want for specifically this or that. And it's not exactly a regulated market kind of thing when it comes to having the different sizes and availabilities. Um, but you can kind of reverse engineer whatever it is and then either get the threads made or find them. So that's a possibility that I might even share in the near future. But yeah, I've actually got a couple right here that I could show you. When I first started, I grabbed a whole bunch of just random ones, um, which is not a good idea. Oh, this one. All right. right, here you go. Here's 3 different ones that I've got right now. And that's just like, here you go. Okay, so what you've got here is a cheap one. I think it's an iridium from Amazon. You can actually see that the tines here are kind of swept up where it goes up in a hooking motion. But it makes it so when you press down, it spreads the tines, and so more ink goes through the feed and everything. Um, and so you can make a thicker line. But what you're talking about here is right here. So take a look at the back end right versus this one versus this one. They're all different. Each one of them is a different thread pitch, different diameter, and then in order to reverse engineer it, you have to uh, be able to determine those things. Not just determine that it is there, but be able to determine what size it is. So that's one of the things that people do in order to make custom pins in the first place. But yeah, there could be a lot, which is why it's best to start somewhere, get comfortable, and then expand as you get more comfortable and interested in different areas. So that's kind of why I recommended it the way that I did before. Uh, so if you can make the most popular, it'll be easier for you to, um, gain traction and create a name for yourself if you are trying to sell them. Putting your own designs, your own way on whatever it is. But one of the things is that I'm trying to have available for people is having a place to start. So, and it's been slow, but I also didn't start it at a good time because I've been it's been hectic because we've got the upcoming pin shows. So I haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time on inventory or not inventory, but streaming and whatnot. As you can imagine, when I do stream, I am generally turning quite a bit slower. So I just want to be able to share and whatnot. I appreciate it. Yeah, more people are joining, and yeah. kind of interesting sometimes. Uh, some things, you're like, yeah, I saw that. And didn't want to do anything with it. And you see other people doing stuff with it. And you're like, man, I could have done that. You didn't. Just like any trend, I reckon there is I guess, a flavor of the month kind of thing that happens in just about everything that is dependent upon the people. Yep. But it's crazy. We went to the DC show. We went to the DC show, and one of the things that I keep thinking about is, some of the feedback that we got when it comes into like designs that I wanted to work on and whatnot. Um, but trying to replenish a little bit here and there, which is good. It's good. That's the whole point of going, is to gain exposure uh, and move what you've made. But anyway, it's a lot of things. But it's good. I wouldn't want it any other way. I like that there's a lot of stuff. I'd get bored if it wasn't. It'd be good. But it does kind of stall innovation sometimes when you're doing some production. You just got to schedule those days in and whatnot. But I'm happy doing it. Happy doing it. It's fun. Once you stop having fun, you're out. I don't know. It's yeah, I could see that. Um, yeah, turn 105. Yeah, close. But that wasn't even really to create time to innovate. It was it was a way to allow for travel and other endeavors. But yeah, Yeah, if you think about it, you know what you're doing when it comes to process and everything. I think I could potentially get the time down to about 45 minutes per pin if I'm doing like a batch of them. But that's in like full production mode, which you know, is not really why I do it. So it's just nice to have them available for people to get them if they like them. I've looked around on YouTube and I've seen some videos that are like, turn this scrap wood into $100 or whatever. There's a lot of variables that I'm skeptical about. Like, well, how did you get the scrap wood and stuff like that? These are different folks, but I'm still skeptical about those types of things. Turn this into the X, and then like, yeah, I suppose I can make a I can make a YouTube video like that. It would feel weird. It's like, hey, turn two of these into $1,000. And you're like, okay. Hmm. But if I was trying to get more views, I probably would be successful doing that. But I don't know. It feels it would feel weird, I think. But see, I'd also mentioned that a lot of people are like, you know what? I want to know how that happened. And so people that are are doing it, like, you know what? I want to know. What do you do to turn it into that? So it's one of those double-edged swords for me. It's like, yeah, that'd be fun, but also almost seems a little clickbaity, even though you are delivering what you said. Uh, but then again, I guess I'm the type that didn't really hype anything up, even if it was crazy or wild or whatever. I wasn't really a hype man. The beads from scraps. Yeah, it's funny because I didn't even try to sell those or anything, and pretty sure I just gave them to my daughter for her backpack, and they became like little pull strings for the zippers on her backpack. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with scraps, and it is a whole one man's trash is another man's treasure kind of thing, or one person's trash is another person's treasure. So we can be PC about it. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a fun project. But it was scraps. I mean, I make pins and I have all these ends that get cut off, and if they're about a half an inch, then I can drill them and make them into beads. Then you can turn 5 of them at a time on the mandrel scissors. And what's crazy is how big of a market there is for it. And the pin lady said I glued my blanks together. It is pretty fun to have things that people wonder about. And that's cool. They wonder about it. Yeah, the stratified ones. Well, I mean, some people don't know how it happened or how it didn't. But it's one of those things where almost like a magician revealing their secret. It's like, does it make you more or less impressed once you know how something is done? When I start figuring things out, I gradually become less impressed with things. But then again, I mean, everything is, I'd say that pretty much everything is simple and could even be easy if you break it into enough steps, break it down into enough steps. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take you. So I think it's an interesting thing. There we go. And then sometimes people are like, "Oh, that's what you did. Oh, I'm not impressed anymore." But then you got other people who are like, "Oh man, why didn't I think of doing that?" And then they're like, "I'm gonna do it now." And then you got even another one that's like they do something similar, but they do it a different way. See, those are the innovators that I find very interesting. You're the opposite. You're still impressed because then you wrap your head around. See, there's one more thing that I find pin making to be super awesome because it gives me something to figure out all the time. I always got, I always want to figure out how to do it myself because that's what I find entertaining. Um, and then just sharing with people that want to know whatever it is. Um, like my wife, she doesn't like learning how to do something. She'd rather somebody just tell her. But I'm on the other side where I would like I'd like the I like figuring it out. And I think that's fun. But to some people, they want to just know. And that's why I think people are interesting. I'm sure you could figure it out. I mean, it kind of also goes back to what I was talking about before when I was talking about different projects that I was working on. Like, I know what I'm going for, but I don't know how to do it at that point in time. So what I do is I leave it to the side until I figure out how I want to approach it. And one of the tricks that I do is I make it visible, so I see it pretty often, and eventually I'll come back to working with it, figuring out what I want to do with it. So that is a way to do something. Not saying it's the way, just saying it's a way. But yeah, if you constantly see it, what do you think that triggers? It triggers you to look at it and think about it. Even if it's like, I see you there, I don't care that you're there. I see you there, I'm not going to do anything with you. And eventually, you'll learn what you didn't know before, and then you'll come back to that particular project and be like, I know how to solve you. So that's a part of why I like doing stuff with pens. For a while, I was wondering how to put clips onto a pen and figure out how to do blind clips, how to do other stuff, and it just takes a little bit of time, research, and then a different way to put it all together. So it's pretty interesting in that regard. And I think once I stop learning is when I'll start working more on sharing the knowledge as well. How you doing, Mike? Mike? I think it's Mike. It's been a little while. Been a little while. But yeah, I was just on my closing ramble. Oh, right on, right on. But I am gonna head off for now. I've got to go to a baby shower. My sister is gonna have a gender reveal. I don't know why I keep calling it a baby shower. It's not a baby shower, it's a gender reveal. Yeah, close and ramble. What are you doing?
I have to go now.
Enjoy the baby shower, gender reveal. It's one of those. My sister's having a baby. We're going to go find out what it is.
Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be a baby. So, either way, excited.
What's that?
It's gonna be
It's gonna be a baby.
It's going to be a baby. That's what we're hoping for. Not a...
I think it's gonna be a girl. John's family is like all girls.
Yeah.
All girls, except for him. He's the only boy. He has a lot of sisters.
All right. I got to go
Hi,
change.
Myra.
You want to conclude my stream?
Sure, I'll chat
Thank
for
you
a
all
second.
for hanging out. I appreciate it. There's a good chance that I'll be back a little later to continue working on these and then getting set up for the next stuff or the next round of things.
Well, maybe poor John. Although he, it made it so that he was well prepared for us having two girls ourselves. I know, that's true. And her husband does have brothers, so that is John's fault that we have two daughters. So he's not allowed to complain about it, but he's well suited to be a girl dad because he has so many sisters. But I hope you guys have enjoyed watching him turn these pins today. I have been asking him to finish them because for me, I'm like, you don't have finished pins, then I'm not going to help you sand. And so that's his motivation so that he doesn't have to sand, which is one of his least favorite parts of all of it is sanding. 5 sisters, and my dad really wanted a boy. John had 5 sisters. So it's same for, they did get a boy. He's right in the middle of all of his sisters. So it's a big family and it's always a big deal anytime we go do anything with his family. So I'm sure there's going to be so many people there at this gender reveal, but oh, thank you. Thank you for complimenting my sanding. We talked about how many pens and things we've sanded over the last 4 years, and it's in the over 10,000 amount of pens and other things. So I should be good at it at this point. I don't know how many hours that is exactly over 4 years, but it's a lot. It's a lot of hours of sanding. So looks like he's got most of these shaped. A couple sections need to be done. But yeah, it's not that I love sanding, but I do love seeing the finished product because you just can't. You can't when they're like this. They don't sparkle, they don't shine until they're all sanded and polished. Very rarely do we leave any matte. Unless it's a specific colorway. For example, when he did the other one of these pastel prisms, not our sparkle versions, but like the regular versions, sometimes I like to leave these matte because they still look really nice matte. Like the colors still pop, and I find matte pens very satisfying to like hold and write with. 20 to 25 minutes pin for sanding. You know, I don't think I've timed myself sanding fountain pens. However, I typically take like this whole tray that he's done, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9, he's got 9 pins right there. It's usually 5 to 10. And I do all the sections, and then I do all the caps, and then I do all the bodies. So I don't really, because to sand them, I would have to switch out the mandrels. So it makes more sense for me to have like an entire batch to do at a time. So sections don't take me very long. Caps take a little longer, and then bodies take a little longer. But yeah, so I don't even know how many minutes it takes me to do each pen because that's the way that I do it. So I'm not having to like loosen the collet chuck and change the mandrels out too often, but it is a lot of sanding. John does some of the sanding, and he's also good at it, but he would rather me do it. So probably Stella's coming to tell me it's my turn to get off now. Yeah, it probably takes 30-ish minutes a pen to sand and to polish. I'm being told to get off now. I came in, told John that he needs to get off, so it's us now. Yes, diamond painting pens are definitely quicker. Although, if you're familiar with those, for us, we do special shapes and then we have standard shapes. And special shapes do also take me a little bit longer, about 15 minutes. And then the standard shapes take me about 10. But that's again because I've sanded over 10,000 things in the last 4 years. But we've got to go. I don't want to be late to the party. Thank you. Hopefully it will be fun. I've actually never been to one of these gender reveal parties. Our girls are 9 and 11, and back, 10-ish years ago, they weren't really a thing. So I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a girl, and we'll see. We'll see. So we'll have fun. Thank you guys for being here and watching John. He might be on later. And yeah, have a great rest of your Saturday. Where's the end button?
Pieces.
This one?
Yep.
This is different than the other one.
Just click it.
Bye.
See you.